Slate started off as a mobile app that was created by two of my co-founders that spent time in the NFL. They were part of that first wave of content creators that was having to create branded content in real time, and they found themselves not being able to do so as fast as they wanted to. They were either having to run back to their laptops or their computers at their desk in a press box wherever they were. And when they were on the road, they didn't have really that option at all. So they decided to leave the NFL to create Slate, which, like I said, started as a mobile app, which enabled them to have access to all of their branding, all of their creative assets on the go. In the last 5 years, Slate is now available on desktop as well for the people like me that like to create content on web. And we've been fortunate enough to now work with the entirety of MLB, the majority of NFL, NBA, NHL teams, etc. And we also work with a lot of brands outside of sports like Amazon Live, Visa, and many others that we are always impressed by the content that they are creating. And Slate was built to solve a few different things. Creative teams, live this one myself, are notoriously stretched thin. There's always a new platform to create for, a new request coming in the door. And the theme that we hear all the time is that creative teams want their social media departments to be able to operate autonomously, and content creators want to be able to operate autonomously as well without having to go back and forth to their creative team every time they need content that is on brand. That really hits on this second point here of teams need speed. Whether you're working in sports or you're trying to create content that is timely without spending too much time on it, but you don't want to have to sacrifice quality in order to get that content out the door, Slate is going to come in here. So you're not having to rely on Instagram fonts or TikTok fonts in order to be able to caption a video quickly. You're going to have the same ease of use with a tool like Slate, but everything is going to be on brand in your fonts, your colors, really promoting your brand, keeping it front and center. So when your content is shared around the internet, around the world, your audience is going to know who created it and where that came from. But just a quick look into Slate before we actually open up the platform and dive into it. Here's a look at our web creation studio coming from Hoka's account, where if I'm a social media manager at Hoka, I'm going to be able to do everything from caption this video in my own fonts and colors using presets that I've set up for myself, to adding branded overlays, logos, watermarks, everything that I'd want to be able to add on top of my video in seconds to create and post quickly without having to go into clunkier tools like Premiere or After Effects in order to import, render, export that video, and share back and forth to your phone. You're even going to be able to do things like edit Photoshop templates inside Slate's mobile editor and web editor. But speaking of mobile, this is a great example coming from the Dolphins, where if I'm right on the side of the field, I captured this video and I want to maximize on that engagement after this touchdown, I want to be able to brand it quickly. So if I'm the social media manager at the Dolphins, I can do everything from caption this video, I can add custom text in my exact fonts and colors, add on any of those custom overlays that my creative team has built out and pre-approved for me to use, add on any other watermarks, graphics, anything else in my brand guide, and I can share directly to social right from my mobile app. But now for the good stuff. I want to go ahead and dive into the Thunder's account. So I'm going to show you the back end where they're able to upload all kinds of assets from backgrounds to colors, fonts, and then I'll show you how we can create content with those assets. This is the part where I remember how to screen share. All right. Share my screen. Awesome. I'm assuming you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Definitely let me know in the chat if not. But right here on the right, we have our brand hub where we're going to be able to see all the assets that you can upload into your Slate account. Everything from your exact hex colors, any of your brand fonts, and any custom overlays, graphics, stickers, and logos that you want your social team to be able to create content with. For example, the Thunder have done a great job of organizing their content into 9:16 assets, 4:5 frames that are meant more so for, branding an Instagram post in feed, something for Twitter or X, and even YouTube thumbnails are things that you're going to be able to execute in with Slate. You can upload custom backgrounds to your account to create content a little bit more from scratch. They're doing a great job of keeping all of their campaigns organized with different folders. You can add custom audio, templates, and intro and outro videos. And here on the left is where we have the mobile app where you can start putting these assets to use. So if I want to be able to start creating a video, I can add in media a few different ways, whether that's from my camera roll. We have integrations with Getty, like you're seeing in the top right, Slack, Photo Shelter, where I can pull in media the exact same way I am from my phone, where I can create multi-image layouts by splicing together photos and videos. I can add multiple videos together and edit them in my mobile timeline. I'm just going to go ahead and pull in one video to keep it a little bit simpler. I can tap into that video if I want to size it up, change the ratio size for a different platform. I can make adjustments to my clip in the timeline if I want to shorten the duration, make adjustments to the clip, and one of my personal favorites, you can actually denoise this video. So what that means is if there is uncopyrighted music playing in the background, you're going to be able to get rid of that music, or if it's windy, if you're shooting a video outside, that background noise is going to automatically be eliminated with that denoise feature. But I'll hit done here, and you'll see that just by swiping to the right, like I'm adding on something like a Snapchat filter, you'll see the different creative assets that are in the overlays here in the brand hub being added on top of the media that I'm creating. If I want to be able to get into the different folders that my content has been organized into, I can open up that overlays drawer, and that's where you're going to see those different collections. Maybe I just want something that's a little bit evergreen, like this filter here, and I want to caption this video. Slate is going to transcribe that audio for me in only the fonts and colors that have been pre-approved in the back end of my account here in the brand hub by my creative team. So those captions, they're generated super quick without having to go into Premiere, After Effects in order to get access to my branding. I can make any edits that I need to the text. You'll see I can change those captions to only those fonts that have been uploaded into my account. Similarly, adding a highlight in only the hex colors that are there, changing the color of the text if I like. I can shrink down the captions, move them around as needed on my screen, and even toggle on what we call safe zones. So if I'm creating for a specific platform, like maybe an Instagram Reel or a TikTok, I can select that platform. And now Slate is going to show me where those in-app overlays are going to populate to make sure that any of the content I'm creating, like my captions, isn't getting covered up for my user, the end viewer. From here, I can share my content in a few different ways. I can post directly to TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I can download it to my camera roll, etc. So really quick and easy to edit and post content on the go, especially if I'm the Thunder social media manager and I'm here at this event in the front row shooting this video. I'll be able to get that video out in real time. You're able to add on any of the graphics in your account that you can see here in the brand hub by opening up that graphics drawer. These are going to be a little bit more flexible than those PNG overlays. So if I just wanted to add a generic Thunder logo, I can click into that watermark, pinch it to resize it, move it around anywhere on my screen that I like, and even tap into that logo in order to set the duration of that asset. So if I want it to pop on and off the screen, I can make that adjustment there, putting it on in only the first half of the video. But this is all super fun. I love this for real-time content, but things that are more templated, more that day-to-day content are also possible with Slate. So if I open up the templates drawer, now you'll see actual Photoshop templates coming from the Thunder's graphic design team, whether it's something for 4x5 for an in-feed post, something for 9x16. I'll be able to click into that. It's going to automatically resize to that correct ratio there. Love the sponsored asset here. A lot of teams are covering the cost of Slate by selling partnerships like this that they can directly activate on. Now it's easier than ever to add a video into a Photoshop template, which is typically a super cumbersome process. I'll resize that video so it fits into that template a little bit better. And then the way that templates work in Slate and the way they were designed is I'm going to be able to tap into that text in order to make edits to that layer. So maybe I want to say that they are playing New York. I can hit done. That text layer is going to lock right back into place exactly where that layer was located in Photoshop. So maybe if I'm a content creator that doesn't have a ton of that Photoshop experience, I'm not going to be able to make changes to this template that my design team doesn't want me to be able to make. Definitely my favorite feature of Slate, having a design background myself. But I also want to show you guys how you can create content like this on web as well. So if we look back into the brand hub, I can create content. Maybe I want to start from scratch here. I'm just going to extend that window. There we go. I have a few different options. I can create content in different ratio sizes, maybe one of the presets that we've built out for different platforms like Instagram, where you can create a reel, a story, a square post, a TikTok. You can even create carousels in Slate. So if I want to see how 5 images are laid out seamlessly together, I can now do that in a very uncomplicated way. Then maybe I want to make a TikTok post now. You'll see those safe zones automatically pop up when I select that preset. We can add in that same video that we were editing on mobile to show you how we can create content here as well. It's going to open up that timeline in the bottom where I can make any changes to the duration. I can stitch multiple clips together and right click to get a bunch of different options like adjusting the volume, or if I want to denoise this clip, get rid of that uncopyrighted music, I can do that here. And you're going to have access to all of your branding here on the left side of the web creation studio. So if I want to tap into those custom overlays that my creative team has built out for me, by simply just hovering over these filters, I'll see them to start being applied to my media. I can sort into a different collection. Maybe I want to find something that is a little bit more evergreen. Let's use a different filter here. I'll click into that video to size it down a little bit where you're going to have even more functionality. Like if I want to round the corners, if I want to automatically fit that to my ratio size, I can do all of that here as well. And captions are going to have a ton of functionality on web as well. You're going to be able to select if you want the captions to always be visible, if you want to hide punctuation, change the number of words, have a lot of functionality there. Your captions will generate super quickly, where you can always make any edits to the transcript if needed. But I'm going to style these captions. Let's move them up so they're a little bit more visible here. We have some presets that are going to auto-populate in your account based on the colors that you have. You can edit one selected caption, all of your captions, up to you, and you can even change the speaker styles. So if there were multiple speakers in this video, I could set different styles for speaker A or speaker B. But let's customize these from here. So I can go into these captions. I can change the text to, once again, only one of the fonts that are inside of my account. I can size them down if I want them to be a little bit smaller, playing around with that line spacing as well. Let's change maybe the color of the outline. I can size that down, change the color of the text. We can add a highlight. Once again, this is going to be always on brand every single time because you're working within that framework that's been provided to you in the brand hub. You can make adjustments to that drop shadow as needed, save this as a preset. So maybe if I want to come back to it, I can name that white highlight, hit save, and you'll see that style's been applied to all of my captions, where I can even apply different animations as well. So if I want those captions to maybe pop on the screen or slide up from the bottom, I can save that into my preset as well. You'll be able to add on any other kind of custom text, intro and outro videos that act as open and end cards that you can add on top of your videos with just the click of a button. Play around with any backgrounds. So maybe I want to get rid of this filter here. Let's add in a background, just creating something a little bit different. It's freedom within a framework, right? Creating more of that evergreen content, knowing that you're still within that branding. And we can access our Photoshop templates here as well. So I'm going to get rid of those captions for now. Go back into that templates drawer. And now you'll see all of those PSD files once again. But maybe I want to do a PSD, edit a template for an Instagram post. Let's work on maybe something 4x5. You'll notice those profile grid thumbnails are going to pop up to make sure that everything you're creating is going to get seen correctly in your grid. I'll size that video up, move it around to fit this canvas a little bit better. And then just like we did on mobile, I can tap into those templates to be able to make any adjustments that I want to. So maybe now let's edit this team stat template. I'm going to size that video down, move it around to fit this bubble a little bit better. And you'll see that only the text boxes I'm able to edit are the ones that are highlighted in green. So if I want to change any of these numbers to 9, 11, whatever it is, maybe you had an amazing day. 55 assists, 51 assists. You guys get the idea. It's only the assets that are going to be outlined in green that I can edit. I can export directly here as well. And we also have an integration with Sprout and are always building more integrations as well to different scheduling platforms. But this is basically Slate in a nutshell. I know we have a few minutes left. I'll try to get to any questions as they have come up. All right, so it looks like one, is Slate able to make assets outside of social? That's a great question. So here in web, you actually have the ability to create content that is a custom size. We've seen a few different customers using this feature, especially for website graphics, for email marketing. I've seen this from Churchill Downs in particular, where they're inputting the width and height of some of those very particular dimensions that are needed for maybe paid ads or things of that nature on your website pop-ups. So while social content is definitely our bread and butter, you can definitely create templated content or from scratch content in all different ratio sizes for different digital platforms. Another question, are you able to post directly from the app to social media accounts? Yes, absolutely. I think my mobile account is still running here on the left. Once I hit share, you'll see that I can post directly to TikTok, Facebook, Instagram story, or Reels. Whatever account I'm logged into on my phone is going to be what I'm able to post to. So if I were to open this up in Instagram, for example, it's not just going to automatically publish. You can still add any user handles. You can add links, any of those CTAs that you care about, or in-app elements. And then you can share from there. But any account that you're logged into is going to be what you have access to. Great question. All right, just want to make sure that nothing else came through. Oh, can a video be sent to another person in app for review or approval? Yes, we do have an approvals workflow set up where you will be able to set that up through Slack, through email. If you do want to get a second set of eyes on your content, you would be able to do so. Good question, Susan. Awesome. Great stuff. I definitely might have missed something, so apologies in advance if I did. But love connecting on LinkedIn, on Instagram, whatever it is. Please feel free to add me. I would always love to chat. Let me know if you want to see a more personalized demo that is a little bit more suited to your brand. I'm always happy to walk teams through the platform, have the conversation, and overall just see if a tool like Slate could be a good fit. So definitely feel free to check out our website, find me on LinkedIn. I'm always posting probably way more than I should. You guys obviously know I like the sound of my own voice, but we'll cut this short, have a few minutes left. Thank you to everyone that was able to join, and I'll be sure to send out the recording to anyone that signed up.